What's up, people? Welcome to Bedtime Chronicles with Blair. We're just gonna go along with that. That's my title for what this is gonna be. So basically, these are just gonna be videos that I just talk to y'all and just be real. So the first topic, I feel like what better way to introduce myself and get personal with y'all rather than tell you a real life story. So this is going to be about why I went to school for social work, but decided not to pursue a career in social work in any form of the matter, anything like that, in the helping type of sociology, human services, psychology type field. Okay? So, this is good stuff. I think my stepmom started me on this stuff. It was good. But anyways, okay, so for those of you who don't know, yes, I do have 2 degrees. I don't have a professional job. I have an entry level job, which for me, I was like depressed for a while. Like, oh my God, I see everyone excelling. But then I realized, like, bro, that's not even what I want to do. Like, I don't want a corporate job. Like, well, I don't want, yeah, I don't want a corporate job. I don't. That's just not what I desire. Like, I'm very artistic. So, for people who are very just, strategic and sticking to like the paper or following the guidelines of others, cool, great. I'm not totally okay with stuff like that. I'm not a yes man, yes sir type of person. And you might hear thunder because it's like a storm or whatever outside. I swear that lightning was following me, like it was just trying to. I was like, oh, that was almost me. You just trying to hit me. But anyways, so I was talking about social work, right? So basically, with social work, first of all, I went into the field because, for those of you who don't know, my stepfather passed away on 12/8/11, December 8th, 2011. He was a firefighter for Mount Vernon Fire Department in New York, and he died, I believe, it was either going in the house or coming out of the house. He had a heart attack, and he had a heart attack previous to that, a massive heart attack, and he had a triple bypass surgery where they go in and they went in. But he had very unhealthy eating habits, and now that I'm getting older, I'm learning a little bit more like this. I mean, you're not gonna catch me with a bottle of Henny every night. But this is nothing. This isn't real, and I don't even drink these every day. Some weeks I'd be like, no, I'm not drinking alcohol. But anyways, so he passed away. But before, when he was alive, he used to work at an alternative home for boys, like a group home basically, and for like kids who either got kicked out of school or they were in the system and they had bad behavior or like like they just had nowhere else to go pretty much. And so I always used to go with him to work, and I'll meet some of these people sometimes, whatever. And it always his relationship with other people and how much he helped other people made me want to help people. So I thought, I can make a difference in society. That's why I went to school for social work, is because I wanted to help and I wanted to give back initially. Now, social work, that's all great and that's all fine and dandy, but I feel like when you're doing all that, social workers literally, and the word like social workers, it's like a term of a lot of people. It could be like a counselor, you could be a school social worker, you could have a private practice, like you could work at a nursing home facility, you could work in hospice, you could work in a hospital. There's it's so many, people think of social work and they think, oh, just DSS, like child care workers or whatever. And it's so much more than that. So basically, um, when I did it initially, what I wanted to do was in Poughkeepsie, New York, where I went to school, and like that's the closest biggest city to where I grew up at or whatever. But there's something called the Family Partnership. It's basically like a community center that offers a variety of services such as outpatient care for people in rehab for alcohol, drugs, whatever. I remember going to basketball games, so they had like little facilities that you could do play games for people in the local community. They had a children's closet for people who were in need of clothes. People donated clothes. You can go there if you had a need. You could get groceries there. I got groceries for one of my, like, at the time we were close or whatever, but my home was like, she was like my little sister or whatever. Like her and her family, I went, like, I think I went there and got groceries for them or something and brought them there or something like that, or referred them there or whatever. But I know for a fact I did help somebody get groceries from there. They had a soup kitchen. Like, it's just an alternative, like so many services. So I wanted to go and open up one of those of my own. But then I realized, like, to be that small on the scale, like to be that far down, I mean, like you're not the little man, but you damn near the little man. Like it's like such a small difference between you and the client that it's like, unless you're in the Senate or the House of Reps, unless you're in Congress and you're sitting there and you're helping to make these rules, or you're in a position of power, you cannot make a difference. And then you see these people who get in these positions of power and they become puppets for the under, like, you know what I'm saying, for what the majority wants. So you don't even get to go. It's like it's a system that it makes you feel like all you're doing is failing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could work your whole life to change something, but you're only gonna change it on a minimal scale. It's not gonna, like, look how long, you know what I'm saying, we came, they did walks and marches and all this stuff, and we still got, it's okay to kill a black person, but it's not okay to kill a dog, or you know what I'm saying, it's not okay to defend yourself, it's not okay to talk back, it's not okay to drive, you know what I'm saying, it's not okay to walk down the street and not harm nobody. It's like, it's not okay to not resist arrest. So it's like the Constitution and the laws that are even made still only work for some people and not everybody. So it's never fair. So that is one reason why I decided, hey, that's a field I don't want to go into. Another reason right off the bat was that when I graduated with my bachelor's, I did not want to go to get my master's right away. I had to, even until this time, if I wanted to enroll in a master's program, it would only take me 1 year because of the school I graduated with. However, I didn't want to do that. I was tired of going to school. I didn't even really feel like I wanted to go to college, but it wasn't an option with my mom. It's not an option with any of her kids. So, I went, I did what I had to do, I got the degree, but then I was like, alright, that's enough school. Like, I had senioritis, like, all through college. I remember I used to go to the library like the morning of that a paper was due. And I promise you though, my grades wasn't slack. Like, when my stepdad passed away, because I started college, I graduated high school June of 2010, so I started college August of 2010. I went to community college first. I decided to do that because my mom was the only one who was gonna fund it. Had I would have known she would took out all these loans, honey, baby, boo boo, child, I would have went away. But that's okay. I still love you, mom. But anyways, so I went there, and then I transferred to a local school, whatever, that I had got accepted into after my stepfather had passed away. So the spring semester of like 2012, I like got F's and C's and D's. Like, I had barely made it. I barely made. I had just passed community college, and I did I was going to two schools at the same time. So I had just passed community college, but I had failed. Like, I got a D and an F, so I had to retake those classes like at the 4 year school, Marist College. So, anyways, after I did that, those 2 years at Marist, it was just like I was going through the motions. I just wanted to get the degree so everybody could be happy. But then I did want to, at first, during my internship, I loved all my internships. I felt like I really put my all into it and I helped it. But getting employed with no experience was my issue. Then I think by me moving from New York, I lost all my networks and contacts. When I moved down south, I didn't really get in contact with those same type of people because I felt like, hey, that's not necessarily what I want to do right now. So that was the second thing, was like, by me moving and losing those contacts, I kind of felt like it was harder for me to get an entry level social worker position or any type of position like that I felt was going to pay me enough money after me going to school for that long. So then after that, it's like, it's I didn't want to continue to get my master's and continue to get all this education without having any experience, because I felt like all the jobs I applied to, their biggest thing was experience. Now, I did almost get hired to one job in New York City working in I forgot, Lincoln something. No, not Lincoln Tunnel. It's one of the train stations that go to Jersey. I forgot the name of it, but that was back in like 2014. But I didn't take it because I ended up moving to Georgia. So it was 3 years. I started it. I wanted to do social work because of my stepdad. I wanted to help people. I wanted to make a difference. Then I realized, hey, you can't make a difference on a small scale because it's so much, and you really can't make a difference on a freaking larger scale because even if you go into Congress and you go into power and you put these laws in, they're not going to work for everybody because we see how the Constitution is and we see how these laws are. You know what I'm saying? You could tell the cop a law and he'll still tell you something else, and not all cops, just certain ones. So, and then it's like getting in the door was too. It was like, okay, I feel like y'all not trying to give me enough money, and maybe some people might think, oh, you're being greedy. I don't care. You sit there and you be $30,000 in debt, and then you sit there and tell me you're not gonna be picky, and you have bills and stuff to pay, and you still want to get your hair did, and you know what I'm saying. I never been a nail type of person, maybe like my feet and stuff, but even then, like I just couldn't get into that stuff. Not a big bag person, but hair and shoes I will purchase. I will purchase hair and shoes. So, anyways, and then last but not least, the last reason I chose not to do social work is because I feel like I'm naturally like either I care or I don't care. It's black and white with me with everything. There's no gray area. You're never gonna question anything. Either I true or I don't. You feel me? Like let's just be like either I fuck with you or I don't. So it's like when I would get involved and I would help people, it was like I'm putting my all into this shit, but y'all don't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like when you do, then you see people manipulate the system, and then you just come across so many stories like sob stories, like really sad fucking stories that you're actually sobbing, and you're like, oh my god, like, and you're questioning humanity. So it's like, and you gotta take all of that shit home with you, and you still gotta live. Like it's like how cops, like you can't just do your job and not take it home and let it affect your life. And I felt like how much you get paid versus how much shit you gotta deal with. No, nope, nope. This scale, this shit is like flunking on one side. So it's thinking on one side. So that's basically why I chose not to go into social work. Those are like the main basic reasons. Then I decided I don't wanna you see I like purple hair. I like I even had an office job, whatever, and I'm so glad right now that my company has allowed me to work from home because they did not have to do that. Like they really did it. But I'm glad that the position opened up and that my work previously, that's why I tell people even when you do get a job or whatever you do, even if it's not something that you want to do for life, always do your best at it because you never know where that door might lead you to. Like yeah, some bridges you can, some bridges you might burn or you might feel like, oh, I just want to screw this or whatever. But you have to think when you decide you make up your mind with what you want to do. You have to figure out where is the path that's going to lead me there. Like everything that you do from the day that you decide what you want to do is important because it's going to affect how fast you get there and how successful that path will be. Everything you do is gonna be is a decision that's gonna either yay or nay that. It's either gonna prolong it, deter altogether, or it's gonna help you to get there faster. So basically, when I got my job in South Carolina, because first, if you don't know, from New York, I moved to Atlanta I moved to Norcross, Gwinnett, Northside, in July of 2014. And then I moved to West Palm Beach, Florida from February 23rd or 27th, 2015 to Memorial Day weekend. Then at that point I decided I did not want to work for anybody. I got a little issues and then I moved to South Carolina December of 2015. And I've been in South Carolina ever since. I never thought coming and living, growing up, being born, growing up in New York, in not in New York City, but upstate New York still, thinking I'm gonna ever live in South Carolina in the area where my family, kind of lives, and my great grandmother was born, and my great great grandparents, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so country, it's country. It's not the city. It's country. Everything is further apart. You have to, you don't necessarily need a car out here, but you do. And I just didn't think but I figured out that sometimes life takes you on unexpected roads, and you have to make the best of that situation. Like I went to school thinking I'm gonna be the best social worker, this and the third. I went to school and quit my job April, knowing I was gonna graduate in May, thinking I'm gonna get a job as soon as I get my degree. Now, if you're in college, I'm not discouraging you because it's all about networking. Like I said at the time, my personal issues with my stepfather passing and how much of an impact he had on my life, like he was my best friend. He was the person I talked to about everything. Like, and when I say everything, I mean you could go and talk to him no filter. He's not. It's not disrespectful or anything. And I feel like like when I'm a parent, whenever that may be, that's what I want to do. I want to provide my kids with that open door policy. Like, you can come and talk to me, and I don't want them to be. I don't want to say watch me always curse or always whatever. But if you're expressing yourself, express yourself. We can work on how you express yourself, but I do want you to express yourself. As long as ain't nobody getting hurt and you're not disrespecting me, then that's a-okay. And that's how it was with me and him. So it's like when he passed away, I felt like my brother and sister were. If I was like, okay, 2011, 2012, I was born in 92, 20. I was 19 at the time, so my brother had to be 19 minus 7. My brother was 12 and my sister was 11. So I felt like I need to step up to the plate and help my mom out with them, which I did. You know what I'm saying? So that was my biggest thing. I did do it. I mean, eventually, like I helped her out. I felt like we helped each other out, really and truly. Like we needed each other. And I had moved out for like 3 months. Shout out to Mom Deuce for giving me that spot. And came back for some other person. Like I had a lot of different things going on. I really did not deal with my stepfather's death well. Like a lot of people moved on, and I feel like that's all I've been trying to do with my life is try to figure out how to cope with that. But I realized that when I moved to Florida in 2015, that was like the best experience of my life because I started doing my poetry there. The water is so therapeutic. Like when I'm able to, I do want to like start going to beaches more often or living near water. I have to have a pool or like a hot tub or something because water, really just natural water or ponds and nature is just so therapeutic within itself. It's like healing. It's like the answers literally come to you. Like nature, if you shut up and you listen and you go outside, nature will talk to you. And I was never like one of those nature people. I was a Girl Scout and stuff, but I left the cabin when there were spiders. So for me, it's like I decided that I like helping people, but you don't necessarily have to directly work with people one on one and talk to them about their issues in order to help them. Sometimes you're helping someone indirectly. You can, like, I've learned that through my poetry. I was in, the reason I have not stopped calling myself a poet, although I have not put out any work recently, is because I know that it's still within me. But I'm not going to put out a piece of shit just to say that I put out a poem. That's stupid. I feel like that would give myself a bad reputation, and that would just degrade me. Like I'm a good poet. I come, when stuff comes to me, that's when you get it. When it doesn't come to me, I'm not just gonna put out a piece of shit just to say I put something out there and I'm being consistent. No, I'm gonna give you quality over quantity, and what I've learned is that basically quality over quantity goes through everything in life. The quality of your education, the quality of life, the quality of relationships, everything over quantity. I value the fewest people I have in my life that are consistent on a consistent basis that I know even if I call them and we haven't spoken in a long time, they'll still be there. I value those people over just people who just always want to turn up or you know what I'm saying, or just they're just wishy washy. I used to be wishy washy and I didn't understand why. And it was because I was so used to people being wishy washy to me that I just started exerting that energy into the environment. And that's, what happened. It fucking vibrated and bounced right back. Shit. Anywho, that was my story about social work. So Bedtime Chronicles continues. So basically, I just wanted to come to you and tell you guys why I'm not. It looks like I'm not doing shit with my life. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like there's this stage that nobody tells you about, right? There's this stage that nobody tells you about, and this is so important. This is like I just want to be. I don't call myself a motivational speaker. I don't want to give myself a label. I don't even feel comfortable sometimes saying I'm a poet or this because I just want to be Blair. I just want to do everything I love to do and make money. I don't know if that's possible, but we're gonna try. So I think there's this period of time between high school graduation or even like if you go to college or you go to a technical school. I wouldn't say so much with a technical school, but I would say high school graduation and the people who aren't necessarily successful right out of college up until like your 20s are like the most confusing time of your life because here I am 25 and I'm like, "Oh shit, 30's around the corner." Like, bro, big. Wait, I'm closer to 30 than I am to 18. Like, damn. Like, before you know, people gonna stop carding me. Like, that's depressing. But and I'm like, wow. And I feel like for me, it's extra sad because I'm like, I could have had this, that, and the third. I just fucked up so much money. When I say so much money, I mean like at least 50 grand. Like I fucked it up. I'm like I could have had a house. There's houses that you could buy for $37,000. Like I could have had a house. It worked. You feel me? Like I didn't have to go to college, bruh. I'm not even using my degree, but I feel like all those paths that you go through, it's like the 20s is like you gotta learn from everything. You have to use the 20s as the biggest self empowering and like self awareness and all that good self educating shit. You gotta do all of that during your 20s because I feel like you have to truly find and define yourself if you don't have that already. I, for one, can honestly say that I was more of a follower. I didn't recognize that until I got older, but now that I'm growing into my own person and I'm learning how to be by myself and be comfortable doing more things by myself and being okay that, hey, I don't really want to be around you people because that's not my shit to do. I'd rather be at home doing whatever. And that's okay. It doesn't make me an old lady or nothing. It's just that I pick and choose what I want to entertain, what I want to put my energy into. And that's okay because that's defining who I am, what I value. You have to do the same thing. Sometimes people, you look around and you see all these people, especially with social media, it's fucking hard. Like Snapchat now, you see people's lives every freaking point 0.5 seconds. Like, Snapchat me that pussy. Ooh, she twerking, $5 bills, y'all. Ooh, I got this money. Like, it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, ooh, whatever. And the society is so fucking judgmental. We are so judgmental. We judge ourselves more than anybody else. So it's like, you just have to be comfortable. Like, right now, you think I don't know that my fucking closure is purple? I know that shit. Do I care? No, 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 no. I don't. You know why? Because I'm feeling myself. And you know what is another thing too? It's like another person. I love Lynn's spirit on Facebook or Instagram, whatever he has. Like, yo, his like, cause he don't give a fuck, and that's what you have to learn. That's what like in school they teach you to give a fuck, and you have to learn in your 20s not to give a fuck and just do what you want. Okay, like do literally what you want, like in life. What you want to get out of life, that's what you have to start working towards because this is the time where you're gonna pave it. So I feel like even though I'm not successful, quote unquote, I'm not, what I'm saying, no A Boogie or I'm not no whoever that came up, like, but I think I've already put myself out there. I've done accomplishments, and not to toot my own horn, but I've done things. I just didn't follow through with it all the way, but my name is out there. People know who Lyrics of Life is in a different country in Germany. They know who I am in Alaska and Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody out there knows. It may not be a lot of people, but I've already started branching out and sharing my message with the world. And like I said, when I went to Florida, that was the biggest time of my life because the water is so therapeutic. So when I would go out there, I used that, and the first poem I wrote was called Perfection. And I think it was like, all I ever wanted was perfection. Anorexia, the disease, distorting our reflection. I know I seem ungrateful for all of God's blessings, but really I'm just dealing with everyday stressors. Can't measure up to society's expectations, and it should have been expectations, but 5 2 3/4 to be exact, but don't get the impression that I've learned from every single one of life's lessons. I forgot how it went. Basically, it was a poem just about my struggle growing up between, oh shit, fucking water bugs, bro. Um, I'm gonna just watch where the fuck he goes because nah, I can't even go out like that. This is where the bug gotta go be. Hold on. Okay, so I'm not editing that out either. You can watch that part. I don't play with these. And I knew it was gonna come. Is as soon as you turn the air off. Okay, this is what I say down south. There's these big ass bugs, and the good thing is, you know that these shits is not roaches because they're too big to be fucking roaches. But and like at first I didn't know that because the first apartment I ever had in Georgia, like I ran out of my apartment, okay, with no shoes on, with like my night clothes and everything on because there was a big ass roach, water bug in my closet. And this is like the first week I move in. I'm tripping. I know damn well I didn't bring none of them with me because my mom don't have fucking roaches. Like, she even hired cleaning companies. You feel me? Like, we good on that. So it's like, I'm sitting here and I am freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, like I just got into a lease. I just left New York. Like, what the fuck? And there's freaking roach. No. So the lady's like, no, they come. So now that I'm in South Carolina, I don't know. I think it's because there's more woods and it's on the first level. These motherfuckers be coming in here, y'all, and so I'm weird. Sometimes I set them on fire. I like to watch them. They be like, oh. But anyways, back to this. What I was saying. When I was in Florida, right? Oh, I gotta ventilate this room. Hold on. God damn. That's way too much stuff. So when I was in Florida, that's when I got like I got near the water, and the first poem I wrote was me growing up, the struggle between having a stepdad and a dad, because I felt, and that's why I feel like when I date people with kids, I always am so nice and welcoming to the kids because I feel like other people might have a different view. This is my perspective of how everything went. I just feel like it was so difficult being the child in the situation when my mom decided to talk to someone else other than my dad, and when my dad and my stepmom got together. I just felt like it just was so hard for me because I was confused. Who is this other person to me? And then, like, on top of that, like, now I'm around their family and they're treating me like an outsider. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when stuff like that happens, and I can't honestly say that because I think with my stepmom's family it was better, but with her relationship growing up, I think it was just, I don't know, maybe it's my perception. But I know for a fact with my stepdad's family, they did not like me. I don't think they like me to this day, but I don't really give a fuck. So, anyways, um, so for me, I wrote that poem, and that was my breakthrough poem. It let me deal with all my emotions that I had built up inside and just put them on paper because it's hard for a child when you don't have a good relationship with your, what I'm saying, biological parent, mother, father, whoever the fuck. It's hard, or your guardian, because you lose that guidance growing up and you always think, and especially when they have other kids and they have such a good relationship, it makes you always question you. So I had low self-esteem, but I never knew I had fucking low self-esteem because I never took the time to be, aware of myself. I just went off of other people's compliments and other people's things. But now I realize that a lot of the things that I did growing up, or even when my stepdad passed, was the different men I talked to or slept with or whatever the case is, like, is because of a reflection of how I felt about myself. The fact that I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whatever. But I've always been real, so I never, really encountered people. But I don't give a damn. You judge whoever. Like I said, everybody needs to go through their damn whole phase, men and women. Because if you just sit here and you go from Billy to John and you marry Peter and shit, and that's who you have your whole fucking life, then I mean, it's not 1952. You gonna cheat or somebody gonna cheat, and why cheat? The fuck, go through whatever you're gonna do, and then get tired of shit, and then go and settle down. I think that's really what me and my boyfriend, what I'm saying. That's why we get along, cause it's like, your shit ain't that bad. Like, I done seen worse. Whatever, we'll just deal with each other. Like, you're not that bad. So I wrote a poem. That's the breakthrough poem I wrote was about my stepdad and my dad, and it's called Perfection because it's like all I ever wanted was perfection, I wanted to be seen perfect, and I wanted love from my biological dad, and I wanted him to reach out more and all this kind of shit. But I felt like I was always caught in the middle of different shit, and there were so many other things that went into it. That's my perception. Never read it to him, but anyways. And then I wrote a poem called Abuse, which talked about the 5 types of abuse. At the time, the boy I was talking to, or me and my friend, we were on the phone, and I went outside to read him the poem because I stayed with Whitney or whatever, and her boyfriend, and we had like, it was a 2-bedroom apartment, so I had my room, but my room is literally right next to her. So I would go outside because my shift was different. I would work from 4 to midnight during the week, and she worked 8 to whatever. So to avoid being loud and disruptive, I would go outside to read the damn poem. Well, this family from downstairs starts opening their door and coming outside, and I'm like, oh, and so as I'm done, I'm like, I'm sorry, did I like bother y'all or whatever? And the lady's in tears, like, I don't know what she been through or whatever, but obviously the poem talked to her, and that was the night that I said, I feel like this is a gift, or I feel like this is a talent or a skill, and I want to keep this. I want to work on this. This is my therapy. This is how I get my feelings across, and somebody out there is feeling like me. It may not be you or you watching it, but somebody else that you might share with. Someone's going to connect with me and feel how I feel. It's not because no, but if you have issues and you talk about your issues, somebody out there can connect with you. I feel like that's all life is about. That's all talk shows are about. You think people just talk? If people talk about similar fucking interests, that's all my poems. Similar fucking interests, and I feel like that was the water was therapeutic, and I feel like that is immense. That's the reason I have a mental block, maybe because I'm not near it, but I have to find an alternative somewhere in nature or something that can make me turn that on. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when you're in nature, you just, like I said, nature talks to you. So the words didn't, they came to me, but nature sent them there. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody somewhere in nature wanted to get that message across. So all in all, I feel like I did the poetry. I'm in the works of writing a book. I've been working on this damn. It seems like I'm just the freaking procrastinator I've always been. So it will get done. I can say that I will because I feel like I'm an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself, but at the same time too, I don't necessarily take the steps that I need to do, and that's just me being honest. But I'm not fucking struggling, too bad. I'm not. It's not like I don't have no food in the crib. I got my own place. I live in a place where it's very affordable. I don't have fucking roaches coming out my ears and all that type of shit. Not saying there's anything wrong if you do. That's what you like. Cool. I didn't grow up like that, and I can't do it. I can't sleep with freaking cotton balls in my ears and my nose again and cover my mouth. I did that as a child at certain people's houses, but life is what you make it. You can bounce back from anything. Don't, if you want to be a social worker, go right ahead. What I tell anybody is this: anything that you want to be in life, anything that you want to do it. And I say that in all honesty. Now, if you want to kill people, please don't kill me. All right? Please don't do it, okay? But seriously, like if you want to be a cop, you have certain things that you want to do if you want to do that. Anything you want to be, Air Force, whatever. I tell people like, and I feel like in school it's so hard because they ask you what do you want to be, as if you can't just fucking be yourself. Hey, when I grow up, I want to be fucking me. I want to be Blair Alise Mills. That's who I want to fucking be. I want to be me. I just want to be me, and I want people to see the real me. I have a lot to offer and bring to the table. I don't want to be a scientist. I don't want to be a fucking phil- philosophist, whatever. I don't want to be none of that shit. I don't want to whatever. I swear to God, I'm smart. But anyways, I want to be me, and I want to get paid for it. Of course, I want to learn new skills and acquire new things. I want to flip houses. I think that shit is so cool. I think decorating, you get to be an interior designer, an electrician, a freaking painter, a carpenter, all that shit in one. You know what I'm saying? So why not? Like, and I think that's so cool. Like that's why I say anything you do in life, do your best at it, because that recommendation, you don't know who people know. And I didn't know that when I was younger. Like I thought, okay, I could just burn bridges and it's cool. I didn't know that just because you work here don't mean that you don't know somebody who like just because you work at, you're the manager of Dunkin' Donuts doesn't mean that you don't know the owner of, you feel me, like I don't know, IBM or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, or HR or something. So people are interconnected, and sometimes just by, and you, another thing, you have to promote yourself, which I have to work on a lot more. I have to talk about myself more and engage with strangers. I feel like me doing videos is a lot easier. When I get around people, I just my tongue get tied. So hopefully this will be my outlet. Hopefully you will watch the whole thing. It'll be like a series, which is what I want it to be. Me and my homegirl are. Hopefully we're gonna get our. Matter of fact, it's not hopefully because next time she comes over, I'm gonna just pull the camera out and we're just gonna start recording. And it's kind of gonna be something like this, you know, unconventional. Like I said, this is Bedtime Chronicles, so you can expect these videos at least once a week. I'll say at least once a week, and I will say on a Sunday, because I'll probably be uploading this tomorrow. Today is Saturday, July 8th, so I'll upload it on the 9th. So I'll say, because I don't work on the weekends, it's easier for me to make these on Friday, Saturdays. But I'll say, you know, this will be like a TV show, I guess. You know, just talking with me, seeing what's up. Definitely, definitely, definitely comment on any suggestions, anything that you want me to talk about, anything that you want to share. If you're a social worker, if you went to Marist College, if you live in South Carolina, if you're a poet, Grandma's calling. So we're gonna peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed Bedtime Chronicles with Blair.